Hello, welcome to the Ball Knowers podcast. I'm Jack Keating here today, joined by a special guest, Bret LaBelle, to introduce you, fifth place finisher on Survivor Millennials versus Gen X season 33, and a contestant on The Amazing Race season 31 Reality Showdown. His partner was Chris Hammonds, who was also on Survivor 33 with him. They finished sixth place on that season. And as Jim Lurch would always say, the cop from Boston, Mr. Bret LaBelle, how are you doing today?
Jack, I'm doing well. How you doing, pal?
I'm very excited to do this episode. I'm doing great. Survivor's my favorite show, and this is obviously the landmark season. Big deal. Everybody's talking about it right now. A lot on my mind to talk about for sure. And so we could just get right into it. How do you instant reactions about this cast? Just what when you saw the cast reveal, how did you feel?
I don't love it. There is some great people on here that I'm very excited to see play again. But
Mhm.
for the most part, I think it's. I would have to give the casting of Survivor a D plus for their casting of this season 50. They said it was going to be the fans, and like you, I'm a fan,
Mhm.
which is why I tried out for the second season. I'm sorry, I tried out during the second season for the third season. Was the first time I tried out, but so I'm like you, I'm a fan, and Jeff kept saying that he was gonna that the fans are gonna be extremely happy with the casting of 50, and boy is he wrong. They got a couple things right, and they got a couple things really right, and we'll get into that.
Definitely.
But I think for the most part, it's pretty much a failure.
That's kind of how I was feeling too. Like there were a few selections that I thought were, super obvious or home runs, maybe a few unexpected ones that I did appreciate and liked, but just a lot of, I mean, first off, too many new era in my opinion. I've got some stats and a few different things here. And so, just for starters, the new era is 20% of Survivor's history and it makes up for half of the cast. And I think that was just crazy. Way too many selections from the new era, and I think a lot of the incorrect selections too. I think they were missing a lot of the players that really defined the new era. The Jessies or Carolyn's or I'm sure there's plenty of other people that you could pull from each season. That they just completely missed on. Like they had um what was his name?
You'll
Jonathan.
never forget old what's his name.
Yeah, sorry. They had Jonathan from he was the only person from 41 to 43 that is representing that 3 season era, and I think that's kind of crazy.
Mhm.
I think I think that's just one of the people, but I think that they could have really represented the new era better and overall Survivor as a whole better.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with that statement 100%. Jonathan, I actually really like. You're right. I mean, there's really nobody from that. Why do we have three people from season 48? That
Totally.
is mind boggling to me.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed season 48. For the new era, I thought it was one of the better seasons, if not
Really.
the best to me.
Wow.
And, but I mean,
I'll take.
I thought it was really good. I thought the characters were great. I thought people were interesting, but there's no reason to have there's
Totally.
no reason to have three people from that season,
3 of the final
especially
4, let alone.
two people who exactly three of the final four, two people who were in an alliance together the entire game, the one who won. Like
Mhm.
what's the point of putting them on? They're going to be a
Yeah.
target. So
Yeah, I think yeah, you're talking about Kyle and Camilla there.
and then we have two from 49 that nobody knows who they
Yeah,
are.
which I
Why are
think
we having 49? Why are we having 49? I don't want
I
anyone from 49.
yeah, I don't disagree with that because I have two takes about the 49 stuff. The first one is that it was kind of I did feel like it was obvious that they were going to put some people from 49 because like they have to keep people interested in the season. Like otherwise it would just be nobody cares about 49. Let's just get straight to the spring and get to 50. Um,
Couple one then one from
yeah,
40
I
would be great.
that's what I agree. But on the other hand, you're putting these 49 guys. It's going to be Riz God, and I think her name's like Catherine or Christine or something. I don't know. But like there's so much pressure on them, not only for this season, but then
Her
for
name's
50 is
Riz God.
no. His name is that's what he goes by. It's like his last name's like Rizzo or something, but he goes by Riz God. I don't know.
Ah,
I know
right.
somebody who knows him, and they said he's like super funny, personable, whatever. So like
Oh,
maybe
okay.
it'll
All
be
right.
good.
All right. We'll give
I,
we'll give
yeah.
Riz God a chance then.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
sounds like a character clearly, but
Right.
like I think that it's just they put a lot of pressure not only on their 49 performance, which obviously is already done, but like people are really going to be critical on them. but not then now they're going to 50. People are going to be super critical on their 50 performance because they're taking the spots of real legends that people, some people haven't only played once and they haven't played in 20 years, or even guys that have played 3 4 times that people want to see back. It's just they're in a bad spot. It's an unlucky spot for them.
Mhm.
To
Yeah,
get
no, I agree. I
yeah.
think it's gonna be tough. It's almost like when they did was it 40 and some I
Mhm.
think somebody went out. Yeah, it's not a good spot. I think it gives a target on their back to be 49 going out for 50.
Yeah.
There is some older players that are playing that I'm actually kind of excited about. So, but I think that if I was an older player and if I was cast on this season, I would be gunning for 48 and 49 immediately, especially 48 because there's three people out there teaming up. 49 is going to have two people teaming up.
Mhm.
So I would be gunning for them right away.
Yeah, and the like outline. I saw a bar graph posted earlier today of the the amount of players per season throughout the entirety of Survivor, and there's like one or two in the first. Like, I think before 20, there's only three or four people who have played, and then they skip from 19 all the way to 31. There's nobody, which I think is pretty
Hmm.
insane. Like I think the 20s was a huge defining part of Survivor. It's a whole decade of seasons. Like that's crazy. Um, and then like so they miss all that time, and then they get to the late 30s. There's just 3 or 4 per season, and then like in the 40s, there's just every season almost represent. It's just a lot of like new era and old the end of the old era and new era like recency bias. I feel like they could have if Jeff really wanted to represent the entirety of the show's history, I think they really could have done that a lot better by not just having like Ozzy and Coach represent the 20s, which like I wouldn't even count them as 20s players. Although they
Yeah, I
did
mean,
play
well,
once.
first of all, Ozzy's played 1,000 times. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see. Ozzy's a great dude. Like
Yeah.
I've met him a bunch of times. We've had drinks. He's a good dude.
Mhm.
I'm happy he's back on it for him because yeah, I like him, but he's been on a lot.
Four
I'm
times. This will be
really
his fifth.
excited. This will be his fifth. I really like Coach back though. I think Coach is
Love
great
it.
TV. I think
Yes.
Coach is awesome. I hope Coach is Coach. I want to see original Coach. I want to see him
100%.
talking to the 48s
Uh-huh.
and 49s like he's the Dragon Slayer. I
Mhm.
want to see all that crap, and I'm here for it. But I also want him to vote them out. Like I want him to come in and slay the new era players. But yeah, no, I'm really very excited about Coach. That's when it was like when I saw Coach. It was one of the first people I saw. I was like, I think it was
Mhm.
Jeff. Whatever I was watching, I saw Jeff turn to Dragon Slayer. I was like, oh, maybe they got this right.
Yeah.
Maybe they got this right. I saw who was it, Jenna from the first season.
Yeah, Jenna,
I was like,
yeah.
okay, I rather would have seen Hatch, but I'm okay with her. And I
Mhm.
think that's great that they got somebody from the first season. So
I
I
think,
was very excited about those two, but nobody else.
yeah,
I
as for
shouldn't say
Coach,
that. Rick Devens, I was excited about too.
I'm
So
a, I, I've a lot of Rick Devens hate I've seen on Twitter, like a lot of Rick Devens hate.
how do
I
you hate
loved
Rick
him.
Devens?
I
How do you
loved
hate
him on
Rick
that first
Devens?
season. He was my
Rick
favorite player on that
Devens
season.
crushed it. He ran around like a nut. He did
Mhm.
everything he needed to do to get further in the game. You cannot hate Rick Devens. And
Yeah.
Rick Devens quit his job to go on Survivor, and he had a really good job. He was
Mhm.
a newscaster for some
Yep.
TV for some news thing. So
Yep.
no, Rick Devens is aces. I'm very excited to see him back out there, and I think he's going to do amazing things while he's out there.
I agree, and like I get that he got voted out early on in his season and he came back, but like that was just the twist of that season. So like you can't really be mad about it. It's just how that season went. And when he came back, the post merge, he was like every episode hilarious confessionals. He was good in the challenges. He was finding idols, big blind sides. Like he was a huge character, and if he makes the final tribal, he probably wins that season. Um,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. He was fantastic on it. And that's the game he played, right? The game
mhm.
he played was you went to an island and you got a chance to come back, and he came back. And he did phenomenal when he did come back. So yeah,
Yeah,
I don't blame him for that. Rick's a great guy. I mean, it's similar to things I hear for that Chris
Chris Underwood.
was Chris Underwood. Now Chris
Yeah,
Underwood went to and then of course the people that voted at the end were all the ones that were sitting out there with Chris Underwood. So of course
exactly.
he's
Yeah,
going to win. Like if you did, of course anyone that was on whatever that was, Exile Island, was going to
Edge of
win the
Extinction.
game
Yeah.
because they were on the edge. He was out on the edge of extinction with all the people that were going to
Mhm.
vote for the winner. It was like it was so
Yeah, that's
ridiculous.
my biggest gripe with that theme. But whatever.
And he's a
That's
good guy too. If you ever get to meet him, great guy. You know.
hopefully one day.
Yeah.
Um, all right, but getting back into 50 a little more. So a few more things about the season. It's 12 old era, 1 through 40, and then 12 new era. Um, and a lot of people, like you mentioned it earlier. There's a lot 5 players from 48 and 49, but that was that did happen on other big returnee seasons too. The game changers, heroes versus villains, all stars. Like they did do that in the past where they brought back the 2 or 3 recent seasons. They loaded up on them a lot. I guess it's because people most remember them and the casual audience really likes them. Like personally, I wasn't a big fan of Joe from this past season. I felt like, especially not only did we kind of like get his whole entire story arc, he kind of he had a whole full circle story. We don't really he's not going to learn. We're not going to add anything onto that. I don't think. I don't expect him to add on to his game, but he was a big casual viewer. Like a lot of casual viewers loved him, and so it makes sense that he came back.
So you're the guy that didn't like him.
I didn't like him at all.
So yeah, a lot of people liked him, and I agree. Though he's told a big story. He's told a
Mhm.
lot. And are we going to get anything more from that? I just don't know. You know,
And
I would
especially,
say the same.
mhm. No,
Same
you're
with
good.
Kyle. Like,
Hundred
are we
percent,
gonna get?
100%.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
like we. I feel like I liked Camilla coming back. I don't mind that because I really do feel like she is a type of like she could make some noise. But I'm a little worried now with Kyle coming back. People are gonna see, the season 50 guys that are coming in. They watched 48, so they know about this Kyle Camilla secret little duo. So they're gonna come in with a target on their back, and probably people are gonna say, especially if they're on the same tribe or maybe if they make the merge or something like or a tribe swap early on, that they're gonna say like, all right, we got to choose one of these people to get out, and we're gonna keep Kyle for the challenges. So Camilla, you're out, and like that. If that's the case, then she gets kind of screwed over. Whereas if Kyle's
Well,
not
I
there, she
think you
probably
get
makes a run.
you have two winners. I think that they're both screwed for coming in together when everyone's gonna know that they're in cahoots.
Yeah.
You have two winners out there, okay, that are
Hmm.
going out on 50.
Yeah.
If I am out there, I literally say, and Kyle, I consider a friend now. We've hung out, and he's a good dude, and
Seems
I'm
like a good
actually
dude.
happy.
I liked him.
Yeah, really really nice guy. I'm very happy for him, right?
Hmm.
But if I'm out there and I'm playing and I'm on 50, I'm like, okay, he's gonna go, and who else won that's going out? I know
D.
there's two. D. D's gonna go,
Yeah.
and they got to go fast because this is my chance. This is my second chance. I'm getting redemption.
Hmm.
I went out on Survivor and I went, God, 37 out of 39 days. I have unfinished business out there. I am not screwing around with two winners. I'm not doing it. They have to go. They're not. We're not here to have a winner win twice, right?
100%.
Yeah, this is my
That's what
second chance. This is
Mhm.
my second chance. You've already won. You can be here for a
I
couple
agree.
days, get your little TV time, and then you got to go. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of survivors are going to feel that way. You think a survivor that was on season 1 or season 2, Colby, Colby was a second. He was on Australia and he came in
Mhm.
second. All right, he's back,
Yep.
and I think this is his third or fourth time also.
This
But
will be his fourth.
you know, but Colby's like saying, "Oh no, that's what Colby's saying," and he's a
Hmm.
competitor. He's like, "This is my season. I'm not." He's not messing around with two winners. Get him out of
Yeah.
here. He's been waiting for a long time. Jenna, she's been waiting for. I think she
42
played
seasons.
twice.
It's a new record. Yep. She played an All
Yeah,
Star.
she hasn't played it. Yeah, she played All Stars.
Yeah, and if
Yeah,
like I think a key thing about that season is there were winners on All Stars. Ethan was on that season. Tina was on that season. Hatch was on that season, and so Jenna, like a few others, and so um, Jenna was quick to say like we're getting these winners out immediately, and you saw Tina go out early, Ethan go out early, all at the hands of Jenna. She was really the
yeah.
key
So
one to
that's
push that.
perfect.
Yeah,
So
like she'll
she's going to push that again, and
mhm,
she's right to do it. I'm
100%,
saying, Jack. I'm telling you,
especially
you
for
heard it
her.
here
Yeah.
first. Yeah, you heard it here first. She's right to do it because they won, and they got to
They had
go.
their chance.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
They
this
don't
is
they
this
don't
is
need to
our
win again.
chance.
Yeah.
No,
Totally.
this is our chance.
Yeah, I
So
agree. A few more interesting things that I thought about from the season. So there's 17 players playing for their second time, 1 3-time player, 4 4-time players, and then 2 5-time players. But Suri is playing Australian Survivor this summer, so like she's kind of a six-time player. Um, and
Yeah,
then
so I love
Mhm.
Suri, I really do. She's fantastic. I've met her many times. We've hung
Yeah.
out. She when you meet her, you realize why she goes as far as she does every
Mhm.
time. Because social game is so important out there. And I tell this to people all the time. Like people go, "Oh, social game, you need this strategy." No, no, no. You need strategy, yes, but you need social game,
Yeah.
and it helps you so much. And she has it, and she's amazing at it. And like, but she's been on a lot. She's been on
Mhm.
a lot. She's on Australian Survivor right now. So,
She was just on Big
and
Brother, and
after
she won the Traders, and, like, she's done all these shows, yeah.
this will be a what? So she did Australian Survivor. She's doing it after this.
She, no, Australian Survivor filmed, like, last year, I think, and
So
then
this will be a walk in the park because they're like 49 days. So
Mhm.
she'll be 26. This will be
Yeah,
a
it's, like,
walk in the
half the
park
time,
for her.
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't.
Um,
There's no reason we don't need another Cerise. We've seen Cerise so many times. We don't need her out there again.
I don't disagree with that. The only reason I would push back on that is because if it like, like I said earlier, if you're really trying to show the entirety, the history of Survivor and really culminate it all in 50, then Suri makes sense. She's probably the best non-winner, arguably a Mount Rushmore player, even without winning. And so, like that for that reason, it makes sense. But like otherwise, I get
No,
like why
but
you wouldn't
my
want her back.
my pro. So yes, I agree with you. She is all those. She's all
Hmm.
that. What you just said. But this is 50. I want to see people getting a chance who are fantastic. I want to see Trish Haggerty from Cagayan, who's probably one has some of the funniest confessionals going.
Hmm.
And she's also a great player because she's got a great social game. I
Yeah,
want to see Russell Hantz back. Crazy enough, and they'll never
yeah,
bring him back. But why
yeah.
is he not coming
I don't
back?
think
That
he's in a
guy,
good situation with CBS. But yeah.
no, no, he's a legend though. But
Mhm.
I want to see people like that. There's so many good people that we haven't seen come back.
No, I
So
I totally get that. And like you mentioned winners earlier. So I thought there were rumors of like months ago that this season was going to have no winners. And so if that was the case, like I would have been fine with that. But if you're going to have winners, like I'm also okay with that. But
where's
having
Tony?
yeah,
If you're
like
gonna have winners,
Tony,
where's Tony?
yeah, Tony and Sandra make sense for 50. And then like there's so many other winners. I mean, I'm sure a lot of other people wanted it too, but I wanted Vesepia to come back so bad. Like she's never come back. Great winner, good person. And then like there's Earl Cole from Fiji or maybe Todd
Yep.
Herzog from China. Like there's so many winners you could point to that could have came back for the season.
Yeah, you
And
know who? Yeah, Denise and Malcolm. I'd like to see
totally,
either of
yep,
thmore those come back. I would love to see those
yeah,
two. I'd love to see
two more
Malcolm
people
again.
from the 20s that like they just no players that played for the first time in the 20s are here, and it's just that's
Yeah,
just so
Xanda. I
shocking.
love Xanda. I'd love to see Xanda back. Where's Xanda?
Yeah,
I could go through a list of newbies, oldies, middle, whatever. But there's a ton
mhm.
of people that are very interesting to me that I'd love to see come back.
Yeah, like another person from the new era.
Carolyn is
Yeah,
like so
which
shocking to me that
do
she's
you know
straight
do you
TV.
know why she didn't come back? Because I
I'm hearing because of the traders, but that doesn't make
yeah,
sense to me. It's all the same. They're
Suri
part
was
of
on
the
the
whole.
Traders. Exactly. It makes no
I
sense.
know, yeah.
They just
No,
like and
that's a lie. That's a lie.
I really feel like Survivor super fumbled with not having Carolyn back because she's clearly, I mean, like she did well in Survivor. She was an interesting character, whatever. And then she goes on Traders and she was like a superstar. Like she really became famous off of that show. And so like it would have made sense for her to come back to Survivor. Survivor could really like have their legacy, like build her legacy up, and she would really help them too. It would have made sense, but Jeff was all mad that she went on Traders or whatever, and like he was doing too much. I
How
feel for
can
the
he be
season.
mad about that? Everyone,
It makes
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, I mean, to
Are you
me,
expect? Do you expect them to wait
if
for
I was
years?
Carolyn, it's not worth playing. If that's the way Jeff's going to play, it ain't
Agreed.
worth playing.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. Um. So all right, I a few questions for you. Did you get a call for testing the waters? Did they ask you if you wanted to come back for the season?
Um, I got a call, but I didn't know what it was for. Could have been for that. Could have been for something else.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Mhm. Okay. Interesting.
But you
Would
never
you?
know what they're calling you for. But
Yeah.
I had to send in a couple videos and stuff like that. So
Mm,
I don't know what it was for. I don't know what it
okay.
was for.
Interesting.
Could have been for 50. You know.
If
So
if they had asked you back, would you have gone?
how can you say no to 50? You know.
Yeah.
How could you say? But I'm not, Jack. I am going to say this: Survivor kicks your ass, and it takes a lot out of you. And it's I haven't done the 26 day. I'm sure it's a little easier. but it's still you're living on the land. You're
Less
living out
food
there
and
in the middle
stuff,
of
less
nowhere.
rewards,
Yeah,
fewer
yeah.
rewards.
Everyone thinks there's bathrooms behind a couple of trees. There's not.
They don't give you a steak
It's
when the camera's
no,
off.
no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's and I mean, living like that is very uncomfortable.
Mhm.
It's So my point is, I loved it when I went out there. Everyone that you talk to that goes out for a second time says it's a business trip. It's never as fun as the first time. So if I don't play again, I won't be upset. But if I would be, how would I ever say no to 50?
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
um,
I would have not mind. I wouldn't have minded you going back out there. You did well your first time. I mean, you got fifth place, and like you like were a key part of that season throughout it. So I feel like, and another interesting thing, they
thanks,
had
Jack.
nobody.
I'm glad that would have you would have approved of that. That's nice
Yeah,
of you.
and
Yeah, thanks.
another. I was surprised they had nobody from Millennials versus Gen X. I thought like,
Shocked too, because it's a
yeah,
great season, and I'm not just tooting my own horn. I mean,
no,
you can go Google it, and everyone says it's one
yeah,
of the
it's
best seasons out there.
definitely. I think
I mean, where's David Wright? I'd love to see David Wright out there again.
David
I'd
or
love
like
to see.
Michaela, like they
Oh, Michaela's fantastic. Michaela's played a bunch, and she's doing well on the.
challenge.
But she's fantastic. She's probably one of the nicest. She's awesome, and every time I see her, she gives me a great big hug. She's one of the nicest people you ever meet. Um, so no, I would love to see Michaela though on 50, and I think she would be good to represent seasons. I'm trying to think who else from my seasons. I could go on forever. Even Hannah, like
Yeah,
I would love to see Hannah
I
out
think
there again. I think she'd
Jay
be
would have been
great.
interesting. I've been wanting Jay to
Jay
come
would have
back
been
too.
great. Yeah, Adam.
Yeah,
But the problem is Adam kind of he didn't do
yeah,
well in the second season, so I
I
don't
think
think.
I'm pretty sure they said I think like what I've the rumors and stuff I've seen is like they didn't want anybody from 40 coming back for 50, which like
And the
I don't
also thing
know,
was that
whatever.
the winner. I don't want any winners out
Mhm.
there. So
Yeah, and
but
I feel like the cool thing with your season is that half the cast was so young at the time. They were all, 20s to 25 or so. So it's been 10, 12 years or so since you've been on, right?
Mhm.
Around there. So like
Left. Maybe. Wait a minute. Let me
that
think.
it was 33, so that was 2016. Yes,
2016.
yeah,
So
so
it's
it's been
9 years.
it'll be 10 years, 9 years, 10 years. So like they that's a lot of time for growth to happen at that point in your life. Like they could be completely different players, people by now. I felt like that was a season that they could have represented a little more. Um,
Mhm.
all right, a few more things from this season. Half the cast made final tribal at least once, which I think is pretty crazy. Like this although it's a questionable cast, everybody on this cast, like the lowest placing person is Tiffany, and she got 8th place on her season. Like this is a very loaded cast for the how well they did on their seasons, which I find to be
Okay.
pretty interesting. Um,
Tiffany.
yeah, Tiffany from 44. Remember she was or 45 rather. She
Oh
was with
God. Yeah. Yeah.
best friends with
Yeah.
Kenzie. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And then 6 people
I can't
were
remember. Was she a good character? I can't even remember her.
I
Really.
liked her. She was kind of like a Robin the way they explained it a little bit to Kenzie. I mean, Kenzie won the season so they kind of had to film it that way. But Tiffany did well. She found an idol early on. I mean, that obviously that if you remember that tribe was so dysfunctional. They had like Banu and Q was on that cast. Like it was on that
Oh yeah.
tribe.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I
Yeah,
remember
so
that. Yeah.
yeah. So that tribe was super. They lost a bunch in the beginning, so like she had a rocky start. But I mean, she ended up getting 8th, and she like if she wasn't so close to Tiffany, or sorry, if she wasn't so close to Kenzie, maybe she goes further. Um, but I didn't mind that one. I honestly, if do you have a winner take a winner pick because I have a few that I've been considering, and Tiffany's one of them. I'll say that
Yeah. Really.
because
That's interesting.
I was really I mean like it's I didn't want her to come back for like 50 like legend season. I really wanted her to come back for like a new era all stars because I feel like she would like be underrated and like be able to fit in behind like the big threats, and she could still do that here. But I thought she played a good game last time. Like she clearly is a smart strategist, and it just like didn't roll her way that time. And I feel with so many big names and so many huge threats, like a few of these smaller, lesser known people could sneak in and go far.
Yeah. So I think Coach is going to go pretty far. I don't know if he's going to win it though. I just think
I
he's
would
gonna.
love a coach
He's
wouldn't be
he's older now.
hilarious.
He's wiser. I just think he's going to be
Yeah,
really good. I think Rick Devens has a good shot.
he's my other
And I
one.
think Jenna. Jenna wants this bad.
Hmm.
You know. So and she's tenacious, and I don't know if she's still that way. Like it's been a long time.
Yeah,
But I think if she goes out there like she went out, I think she'll do very well. So I'm rooting for some of the older players, with the exception of Rick Devens, he wasn't on that long ago. So
Jenna did a podcast somewhat recently with Johnny Fairplay, which I saw you did the Fairplay Matt I forget his
yeah,
last name, the
yeah,
roast of him.
Matt,
That was pretty funny.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But
yeah, Matt Bischoff, great
yes,
great
yes,
guy.
Bischoff.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes.
he's that was his last podcast with them.
Mhm.
He's not going to do it anymore. So
Yeah, that was a funny episode. But Jenna did
yeah,
a podcast with Fairplay, and like they were just, I don't remember exactly like what it was about. They were just talking about like the episode of that night or whatever. But she had multiple different like times where she was like clearly super still into the show. She still watches all the time, and she like knows about the new day strategies and things like that. Like she's clearly confident enough to be able to perform well in in a new era season. I'm excited about that because like Greg Buis, if you remember him with the coconut phone in season 1, like he's been,
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like he's been, apparently he was pretty close to getting on the season, and he's been close on getting like on so many seasons, and he just keeps getting cut right before. Like even someone like him, where I don't know how much he's still keeping up with the show. Like I feel Jenna was a good season 1 player. Like we saw Jervis come back for Blood vs Water, and he was kind
She
of
was a
eh.
big personality. That's why I liked
Mhm.
her. You know, she was a big personality, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to see her back. I think that's going to be she's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Mhm.
Just like Coach is. I think Coach is going to be fantastic. So
Definitely.
I do really wish we had a lot more people from the older season. So there's just so
Totally.
much good talent out there. You know,
I didn't really make a like, or I
where's
get,
Johnny Fairplay? I want to see Johnny
yes,
Fairplay out there.
totally. Like I think,
I mean, he was not in his right
mhm,
mind for his second season. I
yeah.
think he'd be fantastic now. You know, he's learned a lot. He's the father.
Mhm.
I mean, he's still crazy. Look at, he stayed at my house. My God, it's like you got to put a leash on. He's nuts. The cops come every time. But he's just a fun dude, and I think he's great out there. I think he loves to create chaos, and I think
Mhm.
that's what I'm looking for in Survivor.
No,
I like
100%.
to watch that guy. You know.
And I feel like
So
obviously he's got, maybe the most famous moment in Survivor history with the dead grandma line, and like it just, he would have been a very fitting person again to represent the history of Survivor. There's just so many different people that they could have pulled from super old, like the first 10 or 15 seasons, to even like the 20s or 30s. Like they could have represented a little bit better. I wrote down a list of people that I felt like they could have had on. Like I said, Greg and Vesepia, Sean Rector from season 4. I wanted him back so bad. He was apparently close to getting on the season, which he totally deserved it.
wasn't
Jerry,
Cesarino on? What Cesarino was on season 4, wasn't he?
yeah, he was on 4 and All Stars. I obviously
That's right.
Cesarino totally wanted him back on. He said that
I would love to see.
he
He
said
would
that
have gone on
yeah,
50.
he said that he put in, like he got the call and he said yes, and then he got cut like at the last cuts, which
No, he said,
like
"Yes,
yeah,
yes, I'll go on 50. Yes."
like
Yeah, that's how you ever hear? He's got this crazy, like,
mhm,
half Long Island accent. It's like
yeah,
crazy. Uh,
I would have loved
I would
Cesarino to come
love to
back.
have seen Rob. I would love that. So I put it on him once. I put it on him. I said, "Would you go back?" And he said, "No." He said he's got too much going on. But now I think he's got enough people helping him out that he could actually take the break
Yeah.
and go on. And it's
Mhm.
only 26 days, so I don't know what's that. That's like less than a month. So I'm sure he can make it work.
The only problem
I'm bummed
is,
out he's not on. I'm bummed out because I mean he's busted his ass for Survivor. Like they should have given him that. You know?
yeah, yeah. There, like he really like. There's a huge part of Survivor is him with his podcast. Like a lot of people probably found out about Survivor through his podcast, and if not, it's like a huge part of them staying to watch and things like that. He's been a huge part of the community with like viewing parties and obviously just like making reactions to all of the videos and everything, interviewing all the contestants. Like it felt like they, even if they didn't like, if they felt like they owed him. That's the best way to put it.
Oh, I agree. And not only that they owe him. He's worked so hard for that show for
Mhm.
so long. Not only that show. You could make an argument that he works hard for Big Brother and
Yeah,
all these other CBS shows. Why wouldn't you
mhm.
put him on? And he's a legend, and I want to see him play again. So
Yeah, it's not like he's a
I would.
nobody. Like people have been clamoring for him. He's been only on for 4 and 8. Like it's been so long. People have been wanting him back for like since he was on 8, and he got the short end on the stick on 8 because he was on a seat on the tribe with like Rob and Amber and whoever else. Like they all kind of just worked together and didn't. They were he was the easy vote. I think they only went to like one tribal, and it just happened to be him. And so
Yeah.
he got the short end of the stick on that season, and like obviously he was fantastic in Amazon. If he makes the finale, he or the final two. He wins that season. Um, yeah, that was totally a miss.
Yeah, no,
Lex.
and again, this is why I'm furious with this cast because this is the kind of stuff that ticks me
Mhm.
off, and that's a failure to not have him on. Somebody like him too, like anybody from the old Fishback. I would love to see Fishback play again.
Yep.
See him cry like a little baby, like he always does.
Yeah, he like
So.
it was like pooping his pants on 31, if you remember
Oh yeah, I didn't.
that.
I hated that scene. I didn't like her
Yeah, that
saying
was
that.
that
I
was
thought that
that was
was
gross.
obnoxious. Although I love Abby, I've met her a bunch of times, but I didn't like how I didn't like what she said
Yeah,
then.
that was I didn't I actually rewatched
Sorry,
that
my
season
thing's
like
on.
no worries, no worries. I actually
Yeah.
rewatched that season like a week or so ago and like I didn't I never have liked that scene either. I felt like it was a little like it was
It's a
just like a
little.
little rude. Like
It's mean. It's mean.
yeah.
Like you're out there, you're uncomfortable. It's awful to be out
Mhm.
there, and I didn't think
Yeah. I wouldn't have
a
minded
cool
Abby to
thing to
come
say.
back though, which is
Oh
shocking
no,
for me to
she'd be
say.
great. She'd
Yeah,
be
because
great. Yeah,
because my first season I ever watched was Token Cheens, which I was 5 years old when that came out.
great one.
And
That's a
yeah.
good one to watch. That's a good one. And people always ask me what's a good one to watch. I now say my season. I say Token Cheens and I say Kagayan. So
No, those yeah,
if you
those are
want to
like
start and get into it and really see
mhm.
good gameplay,
And they're
So
all newbie seasons too.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
Newbie seasons usually are the best, and we're going into a
mhm,
returning players. It will be fun. This one will be great. We get some great characters coming out, but
yeah,
I it's newbie seasons usually are better.
I don't disagree. And it's been quite some time since they've had that newbie season, or sorry, a returning season rather. So like, I'm very interested to see how it goes. It's been since Game Changers, which was 34,
Mhm.
that they've had. I mean, obviously Winners of War, but that's different. A few other people, Lex, which Fairplay said. You remember Lex from Africa
Mhm.
and All Stars. Fairplay
Yeah,
said,
he was on that podcast with me last
yeah.
night.
Oh yes,
Lex a good dude. I would love to have seen Lex again. Yeah,
yeah.
That's another. I'm just. These are great names. These are great players that I can't believe they weren't in the mix.
Yeah, and Fairplay said that both him and Lex didn't even get the call, which like that seems
Shocking
that
to
seems
me.
in, that seems
Shocking.
insane. Like that's actually I don't even know what the word I have to be. That's like yeah, shocking is to put it lightly. Because
Okay, when you take a guy like Johnny Fairplay,
mhm,
I don't that season. I can remember. Yeah, I think it was season 7, his first
yeah,
season, and
mhm,
there was a
close.
lot of people. It was Sandra's first season too,
Rupert, yep, like it's a big season.
and yeah, Rupert. Yeah, oh, not Sandra. It was or
It was
Sari. Was
Sandra.
it
No,
Sari?
you're right. No,
No, Sandra. It was
Suri was a
Sandra.
little
Yeah, yeah,
later. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Later. So, but that season, and when he tells everyone that his grandmother died, like
Hmm.
I can remember yelling at the TV, and I was like, I started watching in the second season. By the 7th season, this was my favorite show going,
Yeah.
and it was freaking characters like that. Rupert stealing the shoes, same season, loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, where's Rupert? That's another unbelievable character
Mhm.
that should be on. He's played a lot, but he's an
Yeah.
unbelievable character.
The only thing with
So
Rupert is he's just a little like I don't know how in shape and like his age
yeah, I
is.
don't know how healthy he is right now.
Um, but yeah, like
Great guy though. I played Amazing Race with him, and he was really,
mhm.
really good dude. Him and
Yeah,
his wife Laura.
he seems like an awesome guy. And yeah, like
Yeah.
every time, like Survivor's been my favorite show. Like I said, since I was 5 years old. And whenever my family brings up Survivor and stuff, like the first thing they always say is, "Oh, Johnny Fairplay lying about his grandma." Like that's they don't even know the show. They watched it when it was coming out and stuff, and like they know that stuff because that's just so
Yeah.
iconic. If
That was
that's
so funny too. I mean, it's
yeah,
absolutely hysterical.
yeah,
I was laughing I could not stop laughing. It was one of the
mhm,
funniest scenes I've ever seen. But that's Johnny. Johnny's crazy, and he's fun. And when you hang with him, he's just as fun. He's just crazy. He's nuts. You never know what the hell's going to happen.
definitely.
So, yeah, he's great, and he would have been great out there. And I think they he's got this crazy reputation of being a nut, which he is, but
Mhm.
he's calmed down a lot, and he now looks to his career and stuff like that, and I think he would have been perfect for this season.
All right, to go, I guess just the last few names that I had on my list were Jonathan Penner, which I saw something that's saying he was sick, so he couldn't, or he had some sort of illness, so he couldn't go. But like, I don't know how if that's true because I didn't see it from him specifically. I just saw it in general. But like total again a miss because he's such a legend. Like he's a pretty iconic player. He had the stepped out of line to quit out of his tribe, in Cook Islands. and then he came back after getting medevaced in 16. He came back for Philippines and stuff. Amanda Kimmel, like 15, 16, 20. Everybody wanted to see her back, and it's kind of crazy. Like she played 3 times in 5 seasons. It felt like it's been like forever ago, but it felt like she played so many times. But it's been 30 seasons since then. I totally would want to see her back too.
Yeah. And I'll throw in Jerry Manthe. I'd
Hmm.
love to see Jerry come back. She was great for TV.
Yep,
People
having
either
Colby and not
loved her
Jerry is just.
or they hated her, and
Mhm,
she was so divisive. And she was great for TV, and she was
definitely.
fantastic. Who'd you just say before that? Who was
I
your
said
first one there?
Penner.
Penner, Jonathan Penner, fantastic. I was lucky enough to meet him at my finale show, and really really nice guy. I was a huge
Mhm.
fan of him out there. I know recently his wife died a couple years ago,
Yeah,
or I think, and so I think he's been kind of going through a rough time. I
yeah.
wouldn't
I
be
think she had
surprised if
ALS.
that's,
It was
yeah, it's awful.
Yeah.
And
Yule
he's
talked
just
about
such
that
a
a
good.
bit on 40.
Watching him on, he was posting stuff with her on Twitter and
Mhm.
Instagram, and it broke your heart. I mean, he's just a
100%.
good dude, and I
Definitely.
my hat goes out to him. So I didn't, I wasn't shocked that he wasn't going to be on it, but again, a good character, fantastic on the show, and I would love to see him play again.
Mhm. And then the last one I have is Natalie Bolton. If you remember her, she was one of the fans on Fans of Her Favorites 1. And then she's been like the
Yes,
alternate on like literally every single season. She just keeps getting like she's like the last cut every time. She's gotten screwed so many times. Um,
yeah, it's too bad,
yeah,
man.
it's another like just person that a lot of fans wanted back that I thought, like a, almost a legend at this point because of how many times she's gotten screwed over. Like although she only played once, she's just just another person. Um,
Yeah,
we could go more specifically into the cast if you want, though. We could like just rapid fire go through these a bit. Uh,
sure, yeah,
so from the new era, you have obviously we talk the 49 guys or the guy and the girl. We don't know them yet, so that's whatever. 48, you had Joe, Kyle, and Camilla, and we kind of mentioned that already. Like probably too much. Definitely Kyle and Joe is a little questionable. I thought Camilla was fine. Did you have any gripes?
No, I mean I like Camilla. She's not. I met her. She's nothing like they portrayed her. She's the loud person that sits behind you in the movie theater that you don't want sitting there.
Hmm.
Like legit. She's loud. She's boisterous. She's
Hmm.
fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying
Yeah,
she. If you see how they portrayed her on the show, she's nothing like it, which
interesting.
is very interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's all right. I wouldn't have guessed that. Hmm.
yeah.
Um, Genevieve, she was on 47. Uh, I loved it. I thought, I mean, she was a lock for me.
Which one was Genevieve?
She was
That
like
just
against
aired.
Rachel. That was when I was on the Mantra show with
Oh
you.
yes,
Yeah, she got like fifth or
yes.
sixth somewhere around
Yes,
fifth
I liked
place, I
her
think.
too. I liked both of them actually.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. I thought if they were gonna have a winner, like I wouldn't have mind. Rachel was a really good winner, and I thought that would have
right? Well,
been.
that's the thing too. Is I'm going against my own rule here, like bringing
Mhm,
back another winner. We can't be
yeah,
doing that.
especially new era, like too
Rachel's
many.
fantastic though. Met her in New York just a couple weeks ago, and
Mhm,
really enjoyed her.
cool. Yeah, I wouldn't have hated Sam coming back too. I liked Sam on that season. I drafted him that year after
Oh yeah, Sam was
second
great.
place.
Sam
Yep.
was great. Yeah, he was because he scrapped. He was not going down easy. You know,
Hmm.
that's right.
Uh,
That's when you were working. You were doing the Man Child show. I remember that. Yeah.
yes. And then the other new era people, we had D. I mean, great winner, but like didn't need to come back in my opinion. Not for
No.
50. Um, who else here? Emily also on 45. Which like, what was your opinion on that? Because
Yeah,
I have.
yeah, I don't know. So I feel like that's another one where we've already seen her story.
Yes, that's
I
exactly what I was
talked
gonna
about
say.
this with Lurch last night. Um, kind of already seen her story, but
Hmm.
I actually don't. I'm kind of interested to see how she does her second time
Hmm.
because she can't. I think what I liked about her was she came out so like hard to deal with everyone, like not
Yeah.
like abrasive, and then
Hmm.
she kind of moved into her groove and started to kind of get along with everyone, and it was a cool story. But I don't know where her story goes from here, so I don't know.
That's kind
I
of
can
how I
take it
feel
or
about.
leave it. How's that?
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. Where it's like, she was an interesting character on 45. She was decent at the game, but so she came in like you said, pretty bad at the game. Like she was not sociable at all. She almost got voted out, I think, first or second episode, and then she changes her game up. She actually becomes like a sociable person, and she ends up going on a run like later on, makes it a lot further than she maybe would have originally. Um, but like that felt like a whole entire story that was explained right there. Like we got to know her. We got this whole character arc of going from nothing to something or whatever. So like what else is there for her to like? What are we gonna learn now? I don't know. Like I felt like her story was completed. At least not like she didn't need to come back for 50. At least that.
Right. I mean,
And I
we
feel like
have 24 contestants, Jack.
mhm,
I think what we're going to see is an elimination immediately. Maybe even two people eliminated immediately, you know?
yeah, I saw somebody posted some tweet like trying to break down what they think it'll be, and what I'm expecting it to be is 3 tribes of 8, and each episode 2 tribes, but like before the merge, both tribes that lose go to tribal. Probably like down to 18, and then they swap it up again to go 3 tribes of 6, and then like they keep trying to swap it maybe once or twice from there. But like it's just gonna keep being double eliminations until the merge because 26
Mhm.
days, 24 people, that's tribal every night basically. And
Yeah.
like it's gonna be very fast paced. That it's almost concerning because like with 24 people in such a short season, we're not gonna get to like outside of the winner and then like one or two other people to throw you off, and then like like maybe someone like coach or maybe Q or something that could potentially dominate the edit because they're such polarizing like interesting people. We're not going to learn that much about these people, and that's like not to say you have to learn about them because you already saw their original seasons, but like in 50 you're not, I feel like a lot of stuff is not going to be shown because there's just so much to show.
Yeah.
Moving on, we got Tiffany, like I said already, like interesting choice. I mean, again, just I don't know about for 50. Jonathan, you said you liked that choice. I'm obviously like he was such an insane once in a Survivor history challenge beast. Uh, how did you like? What else did you think about his addition?
I happen to this is what's tough for me because I get to know these people, at
Mhm.
events, and I just really like him. And I think he's a good dude. I liked him out there. He is a challenge beast. I don't know how long he's going to last because of that. Um, but I mean, he'll be good till the merge, but
Yeah,
then they'll be gunning for him. But
exactly.
I don't know, man. I just like him as a person, so I'm kind of excited about that. That was one I didn't say, oh, what the heck is he out here for,
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
So
All right, fair enough. And then the last new era person, Charlie. He was on
good man.
Kenzie's.
I,
Yeah,
I I
Kenzie's
keep
season.
forgetting Charlie's on this season, but I do really like Charlie, and I think I'm pretty excited about it, and I think he's a good player. I think he's good enough to be out there.
Hmm.
He did go far in the game, and
Second
I think he's
place.
going to do really well. And again, another guy that's got a great social game when you meet him. Really good
Mhm.
social game. So
I did see there's a lot of rumors that he's pre-gaming like crazy hard. I don't know how, like apparently somebody like found that out through one of the contestants that he was pre-gaming with. But he's been like he's been trying to do everything and trying to like get with everybody, which maybe he'll play on his like maybe that'll be good for him. Maybe everyone's gonna say like he's just working all of us, so let's get him out early.
that yeah, you just it's all who you're going out with. It's
Hmm.
like I say when it comes to the jury and who gets the win at the end. It's all who's out there. It's not like people are like, oh, well, he had a better strategic game, so he should have won. No, it's whoever.
Hmm.
That may be true. You may have a jury who says, "Oh my God, we're all about strategy," but you may have another jury that's like, "No, no, he was a strategist, but I can't stand him, and I'm not giving him or her $1 million. So we're giving it to this one because I like them better." It's all depends on who's out there. And
Hmm.
so Charlie, he may be rubbing people the wrong way by doing that, or you have a lot of people that aren't bothered by it, and it doesn't affect them. But it's going to be interesting to see.
I agree with that, and I think like the for the new for the new era because there's 12 of them. Like every all these events and like they're always like people are always posting, they're hanging out and stuff. Like everyone's very social with the new era, which that kind of was the case with the old era, but I feel like not even as much as so as the new era is. And so like these people might be very close outside of the game, and that'll be. I'm hoping that we're not seeing what's gonna happen, like what happened with 40, where it's not that many old players, so they're like let's just gang up on them, get out the Robs and the Ethans and whoever, and then we can play our game with the newer winners. I'm really hoping that that doesn't happen for 50 because some of these old players I want to see Jenna and Colby and whoever else like actually play the game and not get out in the second episode or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on, three players from David versus Goliath with Christian, Angelina, and who's the third one? Mike White. White Lotus.
Mike White's a joke. I don't know why they have him out there.
It's
If I was
embarrassing.
out there, I'd vote him immediately. There's no reason to have a guy with a successful TV show, probably one of the most successful TV shows since Game of Thrones on
Mhm.
HBO. It's their top show right now,
Yeah.
and this guy's the director producer. He's Jeff Probst's friend.
Mhm.
Okay, we entertained that the first time. That he's gonna go, and he's gonna go immediately, if not the first day. I mean, this is
Yeah.
ridiculous. Why are we even playing with this guy when he's a multimillionaire? Is it so? Maybe they'll entertain him because they want to. A lot of them probably want to be
White Lotus. Yeah.
on his show. Yeah, they want to
Mhm.
have a cameo on his show so that they can be there for 5 minutes for their 5 minutes fame.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make any sense to me. Why is Mike White going back out there? Stop
I
it. He's never going to win. He's not going to get far. It's
definitely.
stupid. It
Yeah.
just infuriates me that he's going out there. Angelina, I could take a leave too. I don't.
Mhm.
I mean, she's good TV, but I don't know. We'll see.
I found her a little annoying in her first season, but I can say like she was good at the game to a degree, and everybody has been wanting her back. Like she's been one of the fan favorites people have been requesting, so I didn't hate it. And then Christian, like I feel like he might be the most hyped up player on this cast. Honestly, everybody has been wanting for him to come back, and I liked him a lot on his first season.
I like her too. I and
Yeah,
and uh, we're complete opposites, me and him, but I really enjoyed him as a person when I met him. A really good dude. So
yeah, it seems like he'd be a
and
great
I
guy.
think he'll play. I think he'll play well. I think he will.
I hope so.
So I think he'll do pretty well there.
I want to have my own little Mike White rant though, because like what you said, I totally agree with. And like he's Jeff Pope's one of his best friends or whatever. He apparently like regularly texts Jeff to give him ideas for like how many idols there are or advantages or whatever. And then, like you said, he's a super successful director, writer, whatever the hell for his show. He was already a good like popular director. He did like the Emoji Movie and stuff for the first time, and so he got on because of that. And then now he's coming on even more famous, even more wealthy. Like it's just I really don't like it at all. He had Christian and Angelina on White Lotus. Like he had a few people from his first season on, and then now he's back on again. What you said, I really wouldn't be that surprised if people keep him around so they can get on the show. But at the same time, I've heard multiple people that got denied say like if they were on the show, they would have gone for him immediately because like why the hell are you out here with us? You don't need to be here. And he wasn't even like, he was like fine on his season, but he wasn't like that good. So it's not like you could point to that to say like, oh, but he was so good, so like deserving or whatever. Like it's just overall like he took a spot from somebody that really like could have added something to this cast. If they, I don't know who that is, but like if they replace him with some other dude, they could have been a much better cast if it's like some hard hitting, legend or something.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say this: if Mike White wins Survivor season 50, that might be the last season I ever watched because that's that had
Yeah,
he must have gotten help, or the other 23 survivors are complete failures if they let him get that far.
I agree. Um, Rick Devens. We can move on from Mike White. Rick Devens, Edge of Extinction. We both said earlier, so we don't have to talk to him about him for too long. But we both said that we liked him. He is one of my. I think if like Tiffany and him are my two winner picks, one of those two, because I really like Devens, and I think if he doesn't get voted out on day two or whatever like last time, he's a sociable player. I feel like he could fit in with the new era. He played that like quick, fast paced type game last time. I think that he could fit in with old era, new era, whatever it is, and play a good game.
Mhm.
All right, moving on. You had Aubrey, who played now for her fourth time. Who played on the Co Wrong, Game Changers, and then Edge of Extinction. Which I have an Aubrey rant too. She played Edge of Extinction, and she got circles ran around her, like 50 circles ran around her by the newbies. She got blindsided by a tribe of new players, and she like didn't see it coming at all. Why is she on 50? Like she got completely outplayed last time. I feel like she didn't even really need to come on Game Changers. Like we got her whole story on the first season. She got, people say she got robbed. I don't think so. Whatever, that doesn't matter. But like she played 3 times already. She did not need to come back and
Yeah, I think. Look, I liked her on Co Wrong. I've liked her. But yeah, I think we're good. You know.
Mhm. Um, all right, we don't have to necessarily talk about every single one. Oh, I did leave out Q from the new era. I liked Q. Do you have any
Mhm.
opinions about him?
Yeah, no, Q's great. He's good TV. I think he'll be fine. I'm fine with it. You know.
Okay. Yep.
I don't think he's going to last long, but we'll see.
Mhm.
He was a scrapper. I just think his personality. I think is going to get him voted off quicker than on a newbie season.
Yeah. I
But I like
don't
him,
I
and I
don't
think he's
disagree.
good TV. So I'm interested to see how he does.
Yeah, and like a Q and Christian or like talking with each other, like that or Q and Colby, like that's
Yeah,
hilarious to think about.
yeah.
Um, Stephanie and Suri, both of them, like they played together on Heroes versus Villains. There's a few Heroes versus Villains players here. Colby as well, and Coach. There were four of them. Uh, what did you feel about Stephanie? We'll start with her coming for on
Um,
for her fourth time as well.
yeah. I mean, I just think anyone that's been done 4 times, it's like there's so many people that haven't even done the second. Like
Mhm.
it's just there's so many good characters. They're not even looking at anyone. Like I would say I'd rather see a Chris Hammonds than a Stephanie. You know, like I just
I don't
I think I'm
disagree.
good.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it feels she's living off like her Palau run where she just was the last person on her tribe, and then like she won in fire making in the final two of her tribe. Like that's her
Mhm.
claim to fame, and then she goes on to Guatemala and like is fine, and then she loses final two, and then like goes to Heroes versus Villains, dislocates her shoulder, and goes out early. Like it's just she didn't. Her story is so done. Like she didn't need to come back 30, and she's been on the Traders and was. I don't know if you watch that show at all, but I do. Terrible.
Yeah.
She was horrible on that show. Like she did nothing
Yeah.
the entire time. They barely even showed her because she was so like nothing. And
Right.
then she was on I think Snake in the Grass. I don't watch it, but from what I've heard from like everybody who's talked about it so far, they said she was also pitifully awful on that show. So like bad at the game type of bad. So like she's bad at other games. She didn't even do well her last time on Survivor. It's just bad call. Sari, you said you didn't really like her coming back on, right? You didn't
No,
think so?
I no. It's I love Sari. I want to just be very clear about that. She's
Yeah,
fantastic.
not to put
I
words
just
in your
think
mouth.
she's played a lot. I think there's
Yeah.
other people that could show. Um,
Mhm.
they could show than her.
Um, and then Colby, you said how did you feel about that? Because I have an opinion about it.
I'm actually okay with it. Colby's, he was a runner up in the second season. He's played at least 3 times, maybe even four,
Hmm.
right?
He
Um,
played three times. He played on
3 times.
Australian Outback.
He's
He
he,
played
he's not the
All
friendliest
Stars
guy.
and
I met
Heroes.
him. He's not the friendliest guy.
I have heard
So
that. Yeah.
yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about him playing. I don't. I think we've seen it. He's been back.
Hmm.
I do like that we have somebody from the second season.
I agree.
But I think we could have gone with if we want to go really. I would probably be happy to see Ethan Zahn from season 3, than
Hmm.
Colby from season 2. Or I mean, if we're gonna
Flex
do
right there.
winners,
Yep.
yeah. How about season 2? One of the sweetest ladies you'll ever meet in your entire
Hmm.
life. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So yeah, there's other people that we could have grabbed from season 2.
Yeah, and
Um,
with Kobe, like the thing that really stands out to me. So like obviously season two dominated in the challenge, like America's sweetheart, whatever. After Australian Outback, the name Colby was the most popular boy's name in America. Like that's how popular he is.
right, right.
And then he goes on All Stars, and he was like kind of whatever. And then he goes on Heroes versus Villains, and it was like a complete like ghost of himself, like just a shell of himself. James Clement, if you remember him, like the big grave digger, he
Yeah, yeah.
even had the quote
He's
saying,
fantastic. I would love to
"Yep,
see him.
I would have
I
loved to
would
see
love
him
to see him.
back, hundred
Went
percent."
home
Like,
with 2 idols in his pocket. One of the first people to go home.
yeah.
So that he would have been great too.
But he had a quote
Um,
about Kobe saying that he called him a Superman in a fat suit because like he was a shell of himself. Like I said, like he wasn't what people expected him to be on that season. And that was
yeah.
season 20. That was in 2010, 15, 16 years ago. When the show will come out. How is he going to look that in this season? Like, is he? There's no way he's going to be more
You
in
think
shape.
Tina must have gotten a call, right? Tina Wesson.
Probably. Oh well,
I know
maybe.
she's played a bunch of times too, but
Yeah,
she's
she's
one
probably
of the
pretty old
nicest
by now,
people
though.
you ever met. But she's probably she probably doesn't want to play anymore. She's
Mhm.
probably done. But she
She
was
almost.
great. But
Yeah, she got pretty far in Blood vs Water.
I would like to. I think I would like to see. I'd see James over Colby. I would. James was
Yeah.
fantastic. You
Yeah, I
know,
mean,
and I love
yeah,
that he went home with. He's one of the first ones to go home with the stuff in his pocket. You know,
yeah,
so.
yeah. There's and then like Ozzy, how did you said earlier you're excited to see Ozzy and
No,
Jonathan.
I'm excited, but Ozzy's played a lot, man. He's
Mhm.
played a lot, you know. I'm fine with it. I'm interested to see him do well, you know. But he's played a lot. You know,
Yeah,
he's getting a lot of bites at the apple. I think that's someone that could have gone away, and we could have brought in somebody else.
and like I think that they're hoping that we get to see like Ozzy, who's the original challenge beast, versus Jonathan, who's like the maybe the best.
Ozzy's not going to be a
But
challenge beast anymore.
yeah, no, he's
He's
he's he's I think he's 49, 48 years
right,
old, and like
right.
Jonathan is not even 30, and he's like as big as he is. Like it's just like Ozzy's not going to be swimming as fast as he was and doing all that stuff that he used to be able to do when he was like 21 years old. It's just
Right.
like they're setting him up so badly to fail, and it's going to
Mhm.
be like catastrophic when he has to try to carry a tribe and like can't do it at all.
Right.
Yeah, it's just I playing for his fifth time too. Like we saw him now, so he played Cook Islands, fans' favorites. He came back for Philippines, or right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds right.
And then he played on Game Changers as well. And like Game Changers, he wasn't even good. Like he was just so like it
That's
was like
right. He was on Game Changers. You're right, and he didn't do
yeah.
well at all. That's right.
Yeah, like I don't I couldn't even tell you how like what he did on that season because I don't even remember. Like and
Yeah.
I'm as big as a fan as it comes, but like he was just whatever on that season. So that tells me that that was 10 years ago at this point, like or almost 10 years, whatever. That like he's probably don't, he doesn't have it anymore. Like he used it all up. Like he was great when he was in the when he was in the younger 20s or whatever however old he was when he first came on, but like that's just not who he is anymore.
Right. No, I agree.
Um I think we. Oh, I guess the only person we didn't really mention was Chrissy from 35. Remember,
Yeah.
she went up against Ben and
Yeah,
fire
yeah,
making.
yeah. She and yes, that's right. Chrissy and Ben. Yeah, Chrissy's great, man. She's determined. She's gonna go out there. We've hung out in Boston a couple times. She's awesome. But she's got what her mind. She's got her eyes on the prize. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? And if she doesn't come, if she's got to kind of she needs to. She need. I feel like everyone's gonna know it. She's kind of all business out there. I
Mhm.
think she needs to kind of lighten up a little bit and just be fun and be fun to hang around with. Still be
Yeah.
tenacious. Still play hard, but just not show it as much as she can. She's extremely competitive. She's
Mhm.
extremely competitive,
I could
and
see that on the first season.
yes, but I think it'll. You got to be careful with the returning players. You just got to. These people will sniff you out in a heartbeat. So
Mhm.
I'm concerned about Chrissy for that reason. But I would like to see her do well.
Yeah, I think like if she can get out of the first like little bit where she's maybe like one of the weaker members on her tribe and she goes out early or something, I think she could go far. Like she showed it in her first season that she was adaptable. She was able to. I mean, she worked with Ben for a long time and then realized like he's the biggest threat. I need to get rid of him, and she led the charge to get rid of him and would have if they didn't implement a random fire making challenge. Um, and if she gets rid of Ben, she wins that season. So it's unlucky for her, but I do think that she could potentially like be in the mix to win this season if she can get out of those first early bit because she's also like with the big names of like the Cerise and Coach Ozzy, whoever, and then like the big name new era people who are fresh on everybody's minds, like Genevieve or Q or Kyle D, whatever. Like she maybe her threat level is down a little bit, whereas if she went on 40 when it was before it was Winners at War, there was whatever it was going to be, it was going to be like a typical returnee season. If she goes on there, she probably is an early exit because everybody's fresh on her mind, like she almost just won the season. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Any other thoughts about this season? Anything that really
No, I mean, I think we're gonna have a good season once we whittle
mhm,
out some of the people that hopefully
yeah,
if the characters stick around, it's gonna be a good season.
mhm,
If some of them don't, and we see some of the same people that we just saw play, going all the way in, I think it's gonna be a very redundant season, and I do think that casting failed in this one. I still give them a D plus. However, there are some
yeah,
good characters there. The only reason they didn't get an F is because of some of the good characters that they did
mhm.
put in.
And
You
like
know?
although this was a somewhat negative like leaning talk, I feel like my opinion is not entirely negative because I do think this is going to be a good season. Obviously, a lot of players, short amount of days. It's going to be very fast paced, very action packed. And the cast is like like I said, the lowest placing person was eighth place, and so that tells me that these players are at least good at the game, or at least were good on their original seasons. Uh, and so I'm hoping that we're gonna get a good strategical season, or at least a fun season. There's big personalities too, and I feel like they kind of hit a little bit on everything. There's good challenge players. There's like the big personalities like Q or Coach, and then there's the good strategists. Maybe people, whatever. So they kind of hit all over the place, and I do appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah, I look at it. I always get a little, weirded out by some of these when I first see the cast and everything. And
Mhm.
I don't think I'm going to be wrong here, but I would be. I hope I'm pleasantly surprised. I hope it goes really well, and I hope it turns into one of the best seasons we ever saw because I love the game and love the show.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, and this is obviously such a landmark season. Like I'm really hoping that these two people from 49 are great and they can be big additions to this cast. Because if we are looking at this Riz
I
God and
think
he's
we're
a
gonna
he's
roll our eyes when we see who's on
I
49.
I I
Like
sort of
when
just I
we
sort of
see
agree.
who they picked, we're gonna be all excited watching 49, going, "I hope it's this person. I hope it's
Mhm.
this person." And then when we find out who they picked, we're gonna roll our eyes because Jeff
Yeah,
ruins everything. Yeah.
I have a feeling that because there's two winners, I think that one of the 49 people is gonna be a winner on that cast because like then they have three, maybe they put one on each tribe or something.
If they do that, that's a huge mistake. First of
Yeah.
all, you can't have a guy that just won or a gal who just won now coming on to another season. They're gonna
Mhm.
get voted out right away.
Because also the season 50 cast doesn't know who these people are. Like similar to like when Russell went on 20, nobody knew who he was. They just knew like one of the biggest villains ever is on this cast. We don't even know. I'm pretty sure he told everyone that he won, which is kind of
Listen,
crazy.
the 49 people have it the worst probably
Hmm.
because think about this. Everyone else has partied together for the
Yep.
most part. Like I have met a good portion of this cast or
Hmm.
texted with them. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Or texted with them or done something with them. So
Mhm.
all of a sudden everyone is familiar with like there's going to be 22 people who are at least familiar with each other,
Exactly.
and now you have these people walking on the beach that you've never seen before.
Mhm.
So yeah, I
It's
think
easy
I think the
targets. Yep.
49 people are going to have a tough go of it.
I
It's an
don't think
easy
they
vote
will.
when you don't know who they are, you've never seen them
Definitely.
before, and you don't know what they did. It's an easy vote. Get
Yeah,
rid of
because
them.
they could be better or worse than everybody out there. Like you have no clue until you just meet them, and like you're going off of, especially with how fast paced this is going to be. You're going off
Well,
of
no,
like
no, but
just
don't. But
hours of
Jack,
knowing them.
don't forget, 49 is gonna tape.
Mhm.
2 weeks later, 50 is gonna tape.
Yeah.
49 is not gonna air till September.
Mhm.
They have no idea who these people are, how they
Exactly.
did. They
Yeah.
have the best. They can go in and say, "Oh, I did horrible. I was kicked out. I only made it eighth or seventh." Which,
Mhm.
if they're smart, they'll realize everyone here pretty much made the
Yeah.
final,
Yeah. You
whatever.
can't
So
say, "Oh, I got 19th place on my season," because they're gonna be like, "No, you didn't, dude. Like you're just a random on this cast. Like, come on now."
yeah, but they're out there now. They're out there right now. They're
Yeah.
taping right now. They don't even know who the cast is yet because they
Mhm.
don't have their phones.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm hearing, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
think about that. So they don't know so they're not gonna, unless they really know Survivor and they know their history. They're
Mhm.
not gonna know that everyone on that cast is man. So I think they're gonna be in for it. They're gonna be in for it.
Yeah.
I think that if I'm out there, well, that's an easy vote for the first person to vote.
I don't disagree.
Yeah,
Uh, all right. Well, I'm definitely hoping that this is going to be a good season. Like you said, we're both big
same.
fans of the show. So for as negative or as positive as I could be about this cast, mainly negative, I'm never going to hope that it's a bad season because like I'm still going to watch it. So I don't want to watch bad TV. Um,
I'm
but
with you on that.
yeah.
I'm with you on that.
And I don't know. Maybe they do a lot of returnee seasons in the 50s because there's so many people in the new era and the later half of the 30s that like never got to come back. Um, so maybe we can look forward to those as well. Uh, anything else you want to mention before we close out here?
No, we got a few months to before we'll even see, I mean, we got, oh geez, almost a year before this thing airs, so,
Yeah, I know, right? It's a long time.
it won't air till next February, so but, I'm looking forward to 49 and seeing who's out there, and hopefully it's as good. I know some people didn't like 48. I actually enjoyed 48. There was, I don't know why, I just did, because I usually am critical of Survivor lately, but I
Mhm.
did enjoy that one, so, I'm hoping I enjoy, 49 as well, so we'll see.
Um, I hope so as well. Alrighty. Well, thank you for joining me today. It was a great talking to you.
Well, thanks for having me on, Jack. I appreciate it, man.